Aloha. Good evening. This is Andrew Aloha live out of my kitchen. But that's the point. Right now, I'm in the process of making. I was calling this the Aloha Veggie Smoothie, but I don't have any pineapples. I used to put pineapples in it, but it was too much sugar, so I had to stop putting pineapples in this. So anyhow, I'm renaming this veggie smoothie the Citizen Veggie Smoothie. But that's the point, right? So anyhow, I don't have a lot of record time left on my phone right now. It's kind of an older phone, and the battery just doesn't hang anymore like it used to, right? So right now, there are a number of ingredients that I put in this veggie smoothie, including cilantros. I take literally a whole bushel of cilantros. I take the leaves off, and I decided to go ahead and just show you the last part of this that I'm doing, so that way you kind of get an idea. I'm assuming that you're getting an idea. Here, let's see if we can show this a little bit more to you. But anyhow, I take a whole bushel, literally a whole bushel, and I take the whole leaves off of it and throw it in there as part of the smoothie. But I usually do this last because the leaves kind of wilt on it if you leave it out too long, and then it's harder to take the leaves off than not. So as soon as I go ahead and finish this, we'll go on to the next section, next portion, next segment of making this veggie smoothie. It makes anywhere from a gallon and a half, a gallon and a quarter to a gallon and a half usually by the time it's all done and said. It just depends on how much, how big the cucumbers are, how much tea I put into it, or unsweetened almond milk. It also depends on how big the apples. Usually the Granny Smith apples are they're all the same size pretty much, so that's not a big deal. But and also it may depend on how much celery I put in this. I usually put a whole stalk of celery in there, and as part of the smoothie, and then go from there. So I got about 37 minutes. I think that's what it means. 37 minutes to or is it 37 hours? I don't know, but I'm just gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes, so that way it won't be too long, and then go from there. Now again, when I take these leaves off, I usually do it. I did this. I showed a friend of mine how to do this veggie smoothie, and she loved it. She was turning on her friends to it and all kinds of stuff. She's like addicted to it. I'm addicted to it. I've been drinking this pretty much the same smoothie every day, at least 2 glasses every day for about two and a half years, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 years at least, and I don't get tired of it. It's like drinking soda, you know, but it doesn't, you know, it's just really nutritious, tastes good, and I don't ever get tired. Now, for those of you that are diabetic, this probably might be something you might want to consider taking up for yourself. I was diagnosed with diabetes several years ago, and I told the physicians, the doctors, I said, either help me reverse this diabetes, or I don't need your services. Why bother, right? Because that's what they're there for. And the doctor that I have out in Tucson, I'm with the VA services, so this is all no good. I'm throwing this out. The doctor that I'm with at the VA services in Tucson, which is where I initially began my appointments at, was there. Oh no. Oh God. Oh shit. Well, some of it's still good. I usually put this. This is the only thing that was left available at Safeways. So I bought some lettuce. I usually buy a blend called Super Blend, and it's usually pretty good. And this one, I should have known, it didn't smell right to begin with. And if they get bad, then it doesn't taste as good. So this is okay. Doesn't taste that great, or smell that great. So anyhow, I put in a half a box of this stuff in there, and you can use whatever you want, whatever you feel comfortable with. But the kind that I usually use is called Super Blends, and it has lots of kale, spinach, and chard in it. Anyhow, we're going to do it like that. Yeah, the Super Blend has kale, chard, and spinach in it. I don't think I have any other blend in that. I sometimes just buy kale by itself and then throw it in there if I'm low or whatever. I'll put it in the freezer and then I'll put it in there. So let me see. I usually put ginger in it. I'm all out of ginger, and sometimes I'll put, if I have it with me, I'll put in some a Novate, what's it called? A Novate Colostrum in it, and that really makes it taste good. So for now, again, you can add other stuff in here if you want. Usually, when it's at this point, you can add. Again, I'll add some ginger. There's the mixer right there. I'll add some ginger. I know it. Sometimes I'll add morning. What's it called? Morning Glory or something like that. It's a green or super greens. You know, you can. There's all kinds of stuff you can add. Now, and if I'm gonna add anything in there at all like that, any kind of powdered stuff, I'll do it right at this point. So that way, it'll mix in really good. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna add right now is some unsweetened almond milk. This is by Open Nature, and it's been the only one. There might be a couple of other companies that do the unsweetened stuff, but the unsweetened is usually the best. for especially, I mean, for anybody, even people that aren't diabetic, it's best for them as well because again, sugar is probably one of the things that breaks down your body, and which is not what you want. You want stuff to be alkaline. The more alkaline a food is, the better off you are. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this. I like to mix. Now, my friend that I showed how to do these veggie smoothies, she goes, well, why don't you just throw the stem in there and everything? Well, if you throw in the stem in there, especially if you give this to babies, which is probably good for babies, you know, even 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds, it's probably good for them. If you put the stems in there, it'll make them choke, so you don't want that. So I take the stems out and just leave the leaves in, and the leaves are generally much more, what's the word, nutritious than the stems are anyhow. So now I actually put a recipe together for this and found that people, I think, were having a hard time figuring out how to do this. So I decided I need to do a video of this so that people can understand how I do this, and then they can tailor it to their own needs or whatever from there. So now I usually get two stalks of celery, and then what I do is I cut one in half and then just throw it back in the refrigerator, or put it in the black bag so it'll stay relatively good. And when I buy the ingredients for the smoothie, typically I buy it for two batches of this, so that way it'll last me about 10 or 11 or 12 days when I'm by the time it's all done and said. So I'm trying to hurry because I only got limited amount of time, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. Just go with it, right? So I take off all the leaves. I don't put the leaves in there because it tastes really tart, really kind of weird if you put the leaves in there as well. So it tastes a lot better if you put in the celery by itself. Now I just put in probably about a quarter of a gallon of unsweetened almond milk. Now what I do is I cook up my own, I heat up my own tea, green tea. if you'll see on my stove over there, the kettle, the pitcher, I just heated some up just now, and then what I do is I go ahead and let it cool off. Once it cools off, then I'll put it in this jug right here, and then put it in the refrigerator so it'll be cold when I drink it. And sometimes I'll make some more green tea later at night, or sometimes like right now I happen to have enough green tea for this batch, so I'm okay. But I'll be low or out of green tea by the time I'm done with this, preparing this batch. So anyhow, that's, and when I put the celery in there, I cut it up into slices, smaller portions. Instead of putting the whole stick in there, I just put the whole portion in there. because otherwise you'll get the string. It'll be stringy. It's like there'll be it's like there will be some kind of hair in there or something. I don't know, but it's funky. So anyhow, there's the celery, whole stalk of celery. And what I do as I go along, I fill one of these up. These glasses. I think it's like a 16-ounce glass or something like that. And I just, and when you mix this up, especially if you don't use a blender, you want to chop it up to some level or another, because otherwise it'll get stuck and then your motor will burn out, and you don't want that. So I have a feeling this is going to be very close on the timing for this. Okay. So usually it fills up about 5 or 6 of these glasses of stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead and Granny Smith apples. Now, in my research of putting apples in my smoothie, my veggie smoothie, I discovered that red apples actually have more sugar in them than the green apples. So I decided to not do red apples anymore. I just put in green apples, 2 green apples. I cut them up as such. I found that this is probably the best way to cut them. And sometimes there's a thing in the middle, so I cut that out. And then go from there. There's like a seed or something in the middle. I just cut that out. So I fill this up with some more green tea. And you don't want to go all the way to the top, because then all of a sudden it'll start shooting out the top. And then you'll have a mess. I'm doing this as fast as I can, really I am. Okay. Two Granny Smith apples. Okay. And again, the cilantro is what takes the longest to make this veggie smoothie with. That's why I had already done. And again, I always put them in last. Put that in last, so that the leaves won't wilt and make it more difficult for me to put in. And I leave them in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use them. Okay, now last but not least, cucumbers. And I'll show you here. What I do with the cucumbers is I usually wash them. Zucchinis and anything with skin like this, I usually wash, because a lot of times they have pesticides in them, and I just take off as much as I can of the pesticides. I literally put a little bit of dishwashing soap on there when I wash these and clean these, so that, you know, get as much of that pesticide off of there as possible. Rinse them pretty good. And then what I do is I cut the ends. Can you see me still? I cut the ends, and then I rub the ends like this to assumably take out some of the pesticide from the cucumber. 2 cucumbers is all I use. Man, this is going to be close. So anyhow, I cut the cucumber down to size again so it won't ruin my mixer. It looks like this is full again, so I'll have to put a little bit more green tea in it. Mix it up. All right. And you want to liquefy this as much as you can. So again, it'll be easier, smoother to drink. And I don't know that it'll change the taste, but it'll still taste pretty good regardless. Okay. Fill up another one of these glasses. Very easy to make. Again, the only thing that takes the longest to add to this is the cilantros, because you have to well, unless you don't want to dilute, you can put the stems in there. It's up to you. But because I take the leaves off. Now, this is another trick that you can do later on. And let me see, I can't tell how much time I have left. Let's see how much time I have left. About 15 minutes or so, less than 15 minutes. Alright, so we throw this away. And then now, one of the things that I do, and you can do this however you want, but it's up to you. I take the last glass, so that's all the ingredients that I add. I'm missing some ingredients because I don't have them. You know, I just forgot to buy some ginger, and I haven't gotten any of Novate in a while. And the Morning Glory of what you call it, the supplement or the Super Green supplement, I just don't have those. But now that I'm done with adding all the ingredients otherwise, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna mix this again. All the and I try to mix it so that it'll taste the same all the way through, no matter when you drink any of this veggie smoothie. Ascended Citizen Veggie Smoothie. I like it. Yeah, sometimes when I don't drink this stuff every day, I literally start to DT. I mean, I go, I need some green drink like yesterday, right? Like even for like 1 or 2 days, I start to DT afterwards, right? And actually yesterday was my last batch, so I'm not DTing too bad right now. And I knew I had to make some more. So, but I also knew that I've been wanting to make a video of this for some time. So finally, I get to kill two birds with one stone. Why not, right? Okay. So I still don't have too much time. But I think I got plenty of time to finish off this video. So now, what I'm gonna do, this is the trick that I do when I do this stuff. I'm gonna show you something real quick. See that? I got several Gatorade bottles that I save. Every time I drink some Gatorade, I'll save it for this reason, so that I can pour some of this in here. So it'll last longer and it'll stay longer and better, and it'll be easier to work with when you get ready to drink some more green drink. I fill these up, put this in the fridge. Usually it fills up about 4 of these when I do this. And this one, this will be the last one. That'll be the glass of green drink veggie smoothie that I'm going to be drinking today. Again, I mix this up twice over to make sure I have a good mix, balanced mix, and it'll taste the same all the way through for the most part. And I'll mix. Now, what happens with these Gatorade bottles is if you use them for a time and a spell, you want to clean them out. You want to. I put a little bit of dishwashing liquid in there, and then I rinse them out so that they won't taste weird or smell weird or anything like that. They're usually pretty good that way. I always kind of smell them to see, make sure they smell okay and they don't smell weird. If they smell too weird, then I just throw them out and get another one. Right? So this is 3. And 4, if I fill one more up, it'll be a gallon. 4 of these jugs or 4 of these bottles makes a gallon. They're all 32 ounces. Right? So it's like that. Alright. So we're down to the final phase of doing these Citizen Veggie Smoothies. And then if there's just a little bit left, I'll just throw it in with my veggie smoothie that I'm going to drink tonight. So I don't worry about it. And then what I do, now this is another trick you can do. What I do is I throw the last glass that I have and I'll put in some protein mix. Now, I get this from Walmart. There's 2 kinds. There's an organic kind right here. This is vanilla. That's the only flavor they had. But I like the chocolate the best. And then they have a raw organic mix that you can get, and you have this one, the raw organic. You have to order it, or you might be able to get it at Whole Foods or something like that. But it'll be a lot more expensive. But I put the raw organic one is probably better. It mixes better. It's just better all the way around. And then go from there. Now, what's going to happen is that I'm going to end up drinking 2 glasses of this, not one, for the simple reason is that I'm going to add this tea to it. That's all the tea I have left. Luckily, I went ahead and made some more. Again, I don't buy the Arizona tea or any of that because it's got too much sugar in it. And the green teas, some kid did some research and was saying that it's better. Green tea is helpful and useful for preventing cancer or maintaining cancer, or just helping you with cancer altogether. So I take some tea, 1 glass of a veggie smoothie. I put it in there along with the protein mix, a scoop of protein mix, and then I put those in my glasses. Just right. And now I'll put some hot water in here and clean the mixer, but that's all she wrote, right? And in the morning, tomorrow morning, when I get ready to drink some more green drink, I'll take one of those jugs or one of those containers of the Gatorade. I'll fill it up about 3/4 this glass, and I'll put tea in the other glass about 3/4. So I'll add the protein mix to the tea, mix it up really good. I'll mix the scoop, and then I just take them and pour them back and forth until they're reasonably or well mixed, and then I'll drink some, and then I'll mix it some more, and then it's a done deal. So it's like that. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Let me see, taste. Oh, tastes slightly off because that salad mix was a bit off, but otherwise it tastes fine.